Getting into this match, top four, I mean, both trainers oh so capable, but one of their journeys will end here. For Dawei, at a regional level here in North America, we've gotten to see so much from her. This team building, how she plays the game, because we've gotten to see a couple of really fun team choices, but nothing quite like this when we look at this Ceruledge. The bulk up to make sure you get that defense, the attack, and dish out so much damage with something like a Bitter Blade. And of course, Milotic, another Pokemon we see a bit of, but looking at this Muddy Water Hypnosis coil set is just so annoying.
Mega Aerodactyl that Eric's got access to in this one.
That's the thing, a lot of these Mega Charizards we've seen out in the field have been with something like a Flowout, but Aerodactyl is something that can check a little bit easier. And looking at this team all around, such strong options.
Well, that's all being to do pressure those Pokemon.
And with how these teams can check each other, it's time to see where the trainers' minds are at as we head into this top 8 match. Dawei going up against Eric Rios. Eric, such an aggressive lead. We get the Charizard and Garchomp right away.
We'll see, get that set up with the bulk up.
And understanding so much of this pressure, Milotic gets out of there. A way to start mitigating a little bit of this damage from Eric's side of the board. Get this all-important Intimidate down on this Garchomp. But of course, we get to see a Mega Evolution in play and Mega Charizard. If you're looking to add something like that Solar Beam, of course, you need to have the Sun on your side. Mega Evolve, Drought, you get that Sun. Earthquake is going to be the first part, of course. You do have that Intimidate drop, but this is still going to be super effective damage into the other side of the board, and so much damage already done into that Ceruledge. The follow-up, the Solar Beam. So, of course, you will just be able to fire this off right away, but it's not going to be that same impact damage you would have liked into the Milotic, and Cineroar will shrug off the hit quite well. Now it's going to be eyes, after our little citrus berry break, on what the Ceruledge has eyed up for this turn. It's taken a lot of damage, but it wants to have a little bit of longevity, attack, and defense rules with that bulk up.
Thing effective at all, so that's why we see it switch out.
You see a swap, and if you're worried about a potential of something like a fake out, it's a perfect opportunity to bring a Farigiraf out onto the field. Armor Tail, no fake out for you, Incineroar, and Garchomp can still go on the offensive.
Oh!
Sonic Tantrum, not enough for the KO. Ceruledge with a bulk up, holds on with 1 HP, and can go ahead, Bitter Blade, so much damage into that Farigiraf onto swap in. Look at how much recovery that is.
Wow, that's huge. Ceruledge taking full advantage of the Sunquake here. So, yeah, really great play from Dawei, pulling themselves back into this game. That Farigiraf is now threatened from another Bitter Blade.
And look at this, Sinistcha swapping even more recovery for this Ceruledge. So this Ceruledge that held on with just 1 HP, sticks around. Farigiraf swaps out. You've already taken so much damage, and you want to be able to Earthquake safely. But of course, something like the Sinistcha is not really going to mind the hit, and Ceruledge, we've just gotten so much recovery that we're just looking better and better. Ceruledge now, we get another Bitter Blade into something like the Charizard. That's still a decent amount of damage.
Huge when you consider that it is a resisted hit. The Ceruledge keeping itself back in this game here, where you're just whittling down the partnering Pokemon next to the Garchomp, and that is whittling down those resources for Eric, and things are getting thinner and thinner as we go forward.
And like this Charizard's just not a threat really into the Ceruledge at all, but Ceruledge will protect. You still have to make sure that you're playing this out perfectly. It's going to keep this health forward now, and this damage coming out from the Garchomp, we've now got a second round of Intimidate. So yeah, Incineroar on half health is still going to survive the turn quite well. Solar Beam again from this Charizard, right into that Ceruledge, so not going to be able to accomplish anything, and a little bit more passive could be the way. So no switch, Garchomp will just take a fake out, though a good amount of damage into the Incineroar in return. Weather Ball, Charizard, to make sure that this cat finally gets put to rest. But Ceruledge, do we go on the offensive here? This is still a +1, or do we go for another bulk up to make sure that you are set up for the long game? Sure enough, a second bulk up, another attack and defense raise. So yeah, this Ceruledge is getting more and more difficult to take care of.
Yeah, now Eric in that really awkward spot where the Garchomp's -2 after those 2 Intimidated drops. You're going to get the Hospitality restore here on the Ceruledge, putting it even further out of reach from those ground type attacks.
Again, and Garchomp, I mean, you have to switch it out if you want to be able to attack with full health later on. So Garchomp swaps out, King Gambit swaps in. Actually, a double pivot on the turn.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to get these two out of here. I think you are going to lose something wherever the targeting of Bitter Blade is on this turn. it's into the King Gambit, that's huge for Darway to get rid of that threat that has that Sucker Punch. But if it's in the Vergaraf, we've seen it before, more than enough damage to pick up the knockout here and put itself in such a comfortable position. Back to full health now, and it's got its best friend, Milotic, next to it that can potentially pressure with those coils going forward, and it has got access to Hypnosis. Abuser on Eric's side is going to be the Garchomp, right? The coil is the great the Ceruledge. The Stompandandrum coming out is going to be the double up into the Ceruledge. No Sucker Punch this turn.
No Sucker Punch, and with the Stompandandrum, that is a lot of damage, but King Gambit's left to act. And of course, brought down into the Focus Sash. Sure, that was a lot of damage that you dealt with the Garchomp, but kind of just does not matter as much because we're, again, back to full health. Kowtow Cleave from the King Gambit. Instead, we'll target down into the Milotic. So there'll be a coil, another setup happening, and things just kind of seem to be running away from Eric here. Dawei's set up both of her Pokemon.
Milotic to go from Muddy Water into the Garchomp. We are seeing it just protect here to see what is chosen this next turn.
But again, it'll just be the Shadow Sneak. We have priority wave speed, and King Gambit only had 1 HP of health. So get one more Pokemon off the board. Sure, Garchomp is safe, but it's going to be Charizard that has to hit the field next. And again, always only lost 1 Pokemon. This Ceruledge at max health, Milotic is recovering.
Yeah, and you've always got that Sinister in the back. I think this is the nice thing. If the Ceruledge does take too much damage in any scenario, I don't think it's going to be any threat right now. It's got +2 defense. So even against the Garchomp, it's in a great spot.
The amount of mileage this had, I mean, it can always be a critical hit from this Earthquake. You're able to click this now, hit into both of these Pokemon, and sure enough, Ceruledge, all the bulk ups in the world are not going to matter when there is a critical hit. It is gone.
That is huge. So unfortunate for Darway, but great for Eric as it's doubled up with that Solar Beam as well. It will be into the Milotic.
All of this setup, and now the Solar Beam. Milotic goes down. A game that looked so strong for Darway just completely eliminated. That is insane. Crazy endgame, but you know for Eric that it came down to that. So how are you going to switch it up in game 2 to try and close this out is going to be the question. Aerodactyl, the adjustment, the next to that King Gambit. Ceruledge yet again, and Incineroar for Darway.
Yeah, really nice here because you've got the Aerodactyl that is going to be able to pressure with those Rock Slides to provide speed control, and you've also punished the potential slowdown of the Aerodactyl.
Get damage into it sooner rather than later, but Darway won't stick around for any sort of fake out. Instead, a switch. It was just going to be Incineroar to make an appearance and a switch out, but Rock Slide, Milotic will void the attack, but it will be some crucial damage into the Ceruledge to start off the match.
Yeah, we could see the Ceruledge just go for the Bitter Blade into the King Gambit. Exactly what it's doing here, just to recover any health lost and get some big damage onto that King Gambit. Break this Sash in the process and just keep yourself in a healthier position, especially when you're in front of that dark threat.
I mean, yeah, you don't even need the boost for the amount of damage, but Low-Kick in the Milotic, make sure that it's not going to swap in freely.
Options where you could maybe try and get a coil in and protect here, put yourself in a bit more of a stable spot going into the next turn.
Yeah, Ceruledge at full HP wants to stick with that for this turn, but of course, if we're going to see something that's a smidge more passive from Darway, an opportunity for Eric to set up the Tailwind, set up the speed, and go for some damage. Milotic and miss onto the King Gambit, so not going to be able to finish that off. Just going to get some crucial damage into the Aerodactyl instead.
Yeah, really valuable damage into the Aerodactyl, but that Tailwind so important for Eric now. This King Gambit going to be ahead of the Ceruledge. And this
get out of control. It'll be Milotic instead to switch, and for the Pokemon, it will be Incineroar, so a second Defiant boost. So you have to imagine, the Ceruledge has to go on the offensive, and you need to get rid of that King Gambit.
Yeah, and Eric deciding to go with that Mega Evolution finally after so many turns of not doing it, committing to it. Once that Tailwind set, will the Rock Slide here be enough and impactful enough to get them through this turn?
All right, a good amount of damage into both of these Pokemon, but King Gambit, I mean, the amount of damage that can do through all this could be crucial. Of course, we have the Cobra Berry that is going to reduce the amount of damage, but we got 2 Defiant boosts over the opposing end, so Ceruledge cannot hold up. It doesn't matter about the berry.
Yeah, those Defiant boosts really coming back and punishing the switch in there from the Incineroar, and in the position that Eric's in now with this Aerodactyl, King Gambit, with the Tailwind setup, we feel like they're in a spot to start running away with the game. But
in so much work.
Yeah, and you need neither Pokemon on Eric's side have Protect, so it's an easy choice to go for. But the problem is going for that is the fact that this Frigoraph could always come in and the Armor Tail could activate. Not falling for it this time around though, as the Sinistcha makes its way onto the field.
I mean, the Milotic at half health, you have to keep it healthy to have any staying power in this match. And Kowtow leave, that Sinistcha Hospitality boost was so necessary. Milotic Muddy Water in response, enough to pick up the King Gambit and bring her, get some damage in for a graph.
Yeah, really nice to get rid of that slot, and what a survival there from Milotic, and now able to reap the rewards of that recovery now with the leftovers. Fact that you can switch in pretty freely now, take advantage of that fake out as well.
Gone to see the amount of damage potential that Sylveon can have. So of course, living on a little bit of HP, Milotic will go ahead and protect it. Sylveon fires out with a Hyper Voice, start dishing some damage so much into the Sinistcha. In the follow-up, Twin Beam from Frigoraph, you know, it's not going to be quite the same impact as that Sylveon had. So Sinistcha down to about a third of its health. But you talked about that recovery. You talked about how Dawe can make her way through this, and Life Dude's the first part of that.
Yeah. It does help out a lot, but when you're looking at what the threat is in front of you, you're probably going to be able to take a Hyper Voice for room to start getting back into this game, recovering and going forward a little bit more effectively than you are doing at the moment with your back against the wall.
I mean, Hypnosis not known for being the most accurate of moves, but it's still going to connect in the crucial moments of this match. Sylveon is put to sleep, and that is going to be another piece to putting this puzzle together. But Thunderbolt into the Milotic is enough for another KO taken on Eric's side of the board, getting closer and closer to closing this out and making his way to top 4 yet again at NAIC.
With the Thunderbolt picking up the knockouts here, and now Dawe has very few options to be able to close this up, especially with that Aerodactyl still in the back.
Hyper Voice, though, there is still so much damage potential, so maybe just trying to go for a KO sooner rather than later. Player Blitz brings the Sylveon to half. And now, are we 2K? Matcha Gotcha, see how much damage can be done. None into the Sylveon, though. The miss. You're only going to deal damage into this Frigoraph. Now we'll have to see if there is going to be a wake up and then how much damage this Frigoraph can do. Sylveon does stay asleep. Thunderbolt into this Incineroar. Really just not that much, but now you have to eye for Sylveon because that's going to be waking up.
In the wings in the back to come in, and as soon as that Sylveon wakes up, it is going to be back in game.
And it's going to be detecting for the first time back into the game. So Incineroar trying to stop the potential Hyper Voice, not really going to be able to accomplish too much. Matcha Gotcha, again, Sylveon stays safe, deal a little bit more damage into the Frigoraph. The Frigoraph can go ahead and go for another Thunderbolt to just chip this Pokemon down even more. And the Matcha Gotcha just bringing the Frigoraph to more health than before. But look at this instead. It's just going to be a side roar, get Sylveon off the field and bring Aerodactyl in safely. For so much more success to be able to go for this. Dual Wing Beat will connect and Sinistcha goes down. There's only this Incineroar left for Dawe. Eric, the switch up going into game number 2 has paid off so well. And yeah, Throat Chop in retaliation, Aerodactyl will still hold on with 1 HP of health. It's just not enough there, so Incineroar sticks around, but that's going to be chances to end the match just gone.
The paralyzed there on the Incineroar, really unfortunate now. And that water survival on the Aerodactyl, the invisible focus settle onto the Incineroar, as we do see the forfeits.
And with that, it's going to be none other than Eric Rios 2-0 to win the match and move on to top 4 here at NAIC. A stage that he made his way to last year. He can do it once again.
Incredible from Eric there.